Welcome! So today we are gonna install a web server on your local machine so that you can develop or create your website with PHP and MySQL using Apache. We are also gonna install phpMyAdmin from the official website. The same steps can be used on a real server with SSH in your terminal if you don't want to use something like virtualmin or cPanel. More specifically, we are gonna see how to create a local MySQL user and how to create a separate website with Apache and give it a local domain name from hosts. And also, if you are interested, how to make it work with Wildcard subdomains, if that's something you want. As you can see, I am using Kubuntu 19.10, so KDE. Okay, so the first thing you will want is to open a terminal so that we can type in the commands to install the web server. You would use the same commands if you would install it manually on a real server with SSH access. At this point you can just hit enter as the default value is yes and it will proceed to install. So now, after this is done, the first thing I do is to open the browser and type localhost to check the web server works. And it indeed shows the default Apache 2 web page, which is located under var www html, and that is not where we want our website files to be. Instead, we want to go to the home folder and inside there create a www folder. You can also create a folder with the command line by typing mkdir and the name of the folder. Now inside that folder, let's create an empty file named index.php. You can also create it with the terminal by typing touch and the name of the file. At this point we want to write something inside the index file, so I opened it up with Gate. You can use your favorite text or code editor. So inside I write hello world to see the HTML works and also the PHP info function to see the PHP side working. Don't forget to save, and we can close that. Now we need to tell the Apache web server where our website files actually are. So open a terminal and cd to navigate to the Apache 2 server files, and you can type ls to see the files and folders inside. What we need to do is to go into the folder sites available, and I'm pressing tab here to autocomplete the name of the folder. If we ls again, we see there are two files. The default website, which is 000default.conf and defaultssl.conf. We're not gonna use SSL in this local dev setup, so we're not gonna deal with the last file. To edit text files within the terminal, I prefer to use Vim. And since it's not installed, I'm gonna install it. But V is installed by default, so you can use that instead and nothing will change for this tutorial. When you have Vim opened, you use escape key and type q to just quit. So now we want to edit the default website file to tell it the path of the www folder we created earlier. Don't forget to type sudo before vim so that you have the right permissions, as the files in there are write protected. Just navigate with the arrow keys and press I to go into insert mode. And to get the right path to enter here, you can open another terminal window and cd to the home folder and type ls. And the folder you see is your home folder, and if you cd into it and ls, you can see the www folder we just made earlier, which is here. And in the terminal, if you cd into it and ls, you will see the index.php file. So let's go back to the other open terminal and finish typing the path, which is in my case home, bring, and then www. Now to save the changes, press the escape key and then type WQ, which stands for write and quit. Now there's one last thing we want to do here. We want to go back one folder and ls to see the apache2.conf file. We're gonna want to open this file and copy something from it. So let's type vim without the sudo before it, as we don't want to accidentally modify it. Okay, the file is a bit long to scroll, so we want to search in this file. We will search the directory word. To do so, press the escape key and type / and the word you're looking for, in this case the directory word. Once you have found it, press enter, and then we need to copy this portion. I just select and right click to copy it. Next, press the escape key and write Q to quit. Navigate back to the sites available folder and edit again the 000default.conf file. Inside this file, navigate to the top of it with the arrow keys, then press I to insert and press enter once to push the text down, then right click or Ctrl+Shift+V to paste the text we copied earlier. This portion is used to tell what access users have to this specified folder, and we want to enter the same path as specified below, but we end it with a slash also, like this, and change the allow override to all. Now save by pressing the escape key, then typing right and Q to write and quit. After these changes, we want to restore the Apache 2 web server. After that, we open back the browser and go to the local host again. In my case, I'm hitting the refresh button, and we are seeing the right index.php file we have wrote earlier, as it says hello world, and it also prints the PHP info we have wrote below. Now let's get phpMyAdmin from the official website, which is phpMyAdmin.net, and click download. After it has been downloaded, click show in folder, select the file and click cut. Navigate to home, then the www folder and paste the file. Next, right click on it and extract archive here. After that, right click on the extracted folder and rename it, or just press F2 like I do here and name it phpMyAdmin in lowercase. Now if we go to localhost and type /phpMyAdmin, we should see the phpMyAdmin login page. And my browser autocompletes the login username and password with root, but of course that's not gonna work, because after a fresh MySQL server install, it will create a temporary password for root. And we're not gonna bother with all that, since we will create a normal user for us with all the privileges. So to do that, open a terminal and type the following. Since we type sudo, it's gonna let us enter on the root user with our own password. At this point we are in, so we want to use the MySQL database. We can select the user and authentication string to see the users created and their encoded password on this MySQL server. Root has no password, but we cannot connect with empty password, and also we're not gonna touch the root user. Also, this is just for local use. Next, let's create a user called MySQL local and its password local password WD. Now if we select the user and authentication string again, we can see the MySQL local user was created and it has a password set. Now we want to grant it privileges to read, create and modify tables and databases on this local MySQL server. Right, flush privileges and we're good. Now let's try to log in. Wait, what? The server requested authentication method unknown to the client. Yeah, if you get that error, you can do this. Log back into MySQL still using sudo and type the following to use the MySQL native password.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause some pain, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed.
Then in the browser we go to localhost /mysite to check our index.php file works correctly. And it does, it shows my site and below it the HTTP host, which is localhost for now. Now we need to open a terminal and edit the hosts file with vim, again with sudo rights. Press I to enter and write the following, and I press tab to write mysite.me. So that when we access mysite.me in the browser, it redirects internally to that IP, which is localhost. Press escape key, then type write and quit. Now let's try in the browser to see what we got. And it indeed gets us to the localhost index file. But we want us to go to the mysite-index.php file instead. So to do that, open a terminal and navigate to the Apache sites available folder again. And we need to make a copy of this 000 default.conf file. So we write sudo cp 000, press tab to autocomplete, then space mysite.me.conf. If we ls again in that folder, we see the mysite.me.conf file was created. Let's go and edit this file with sudo vim, then press I to enter insert mode. And in here we need to change the path so that it goes to the mysite folder, both in the directory and down here in the document root. Also down the line we write server name space mysite.me to tell him the domain name identified for this folder. Then press the escape key and write and quit. After that we need to enable the site by typing the following. And after it has been enabled, we need to restart the Apache web server. And now in the browser, when we refresh the page, we see it goes to the right index.php file, as it shows the title mysite and the domain name mysite.me. Now, as I said earlier, we're gonna take a look at how to activate wildcard subdomains for this site. So to do that, we need to change two things. First, we're gonna have to add manually the subdomains to the hosts file, since we're not using bin like a live server. So here I am adding test1, test2 and yo-yo subdomains of mysite.me. Now save the hosts file and go to the browser and type the first subdomain, which is test1.mysite.me. Well, the problem is it gets us to the local host and not to the mysite-index.php file. To make this work for the mysite.me domain as a wildcard, we need to tell Apache one thing. First, navigate with your terminal to the Apache sites available folder and sudo vim to edit the mysite.me.conf file. And in here we press the I key to insert and then add the following line. That means all the subdomains of the mysite.me domain will be redirected to the same mysite folder. Let's save and restart the Apache server. And refresh the page. Now we can see that test1 subdomain gets us to my site index.php file and it shows the correct HTTP host. Same if we write test2 or yoyo.mysite.me. Now with this in your PHP code you can show different informations based on that subdomain HTTP host variable. Okay, I hope you have learned something helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to see the next video.